President Aquino graced the awarding ceremony of the selected outstanding young men in the country. In his speech, he urged the awardees to continue to live an exemplary life for all Filipino youth to emulate. The story from Angel Cordova.
President Aquino recognized the significant contribution of individuals for the betterment of the country amidst many challenges this year. The President led the awarding ceremonies for 2013 the Outstanding Young Men or TOYM awardees in Malacanang. He said that with the high optimism among Filipinos next year, the country should produce more dedicated young professionals.
It is particularly fitting this year that we honor the TOYM awardees right in the middle of the holiday season, a time in which we can look back on the past year and give thanks for our blessings. With the holidays also comes the opening of a new chapter, with all the optimism and opportunities that a fresh start carries. So these awards are a perfect symbol of the season and also a reminder of the things that must remain constant in our lives, namely service and hope. Service is not an area I need to speak about in great detail, especially to an audience like this one. After all, U9 made a very conscious decision to work for the benefit of others. You know how challenging, how difficult, and how rewarding it can be. And by virtue of your different professions, you know full well that there is no single true path of service. There is only the discernment of a calling and the corresponding commitment to make the most of your God-given talents.
The chief executive stressed that it is important to have a hardworking individual that will serve as an inspiration in fostering change and achieving the so-called a nation of heroes. Young professional men and women were chosen in the fields of social entrepreneurship, sociology, science communications, government and public service, community service, food science and technology, medicine and youth leadership.
Filipinos never stand idly by and let others suffer alone, because compassion and the utmost generosity are intrinsic to our people. We saw this in our fellow citizens who flocked to repacking centers day and night, and in students and employees who donated their allowance and salaries to relief efforts. We saw this in the private sector and civic groups who organized their own relief drives. We see this even today in men and women like you who care about fostering change that uplifts their fellow men.
The awarding event was initiated by the Philippine JCs Incorporated, young professionals to be good leaders and inspiration for many Filipinos. It was in 1973 when Jerry Rojas Foundation co-sponsored the selection process. The awarding is intended to give national recognition to young Filipino men and women between the ages of 18 to 40 years, recognized with their selfless dedication to their profession or vocation that has resulted in significant contributions to the welfare of their countrymen as well as to the advancement of the fields of endeavor.
Events like this remind all of us that there will never be a shortage of Filipinos who are willing to take on the task of nation building, that in fact there are so many of us who are working to uplift and empower our fellow men. This is the very principle of bayanihan, of everyone doing his part for a common purpose, a belief which all of you exemplify every day. As you tread your own daang matuwid in your professional lives, this is the very principle of the Outstanding Young Men Awards.
This is Angel Cordova for News at 1, Junior Edition.